Oh my God, we're live.
We're
Oh, oh, I might announce my special announcement too at the end. I feel like I want to make people guess, and you guys, as you guys come in, say hey. But I also want to say, what is it about when you say I've got exciting news to announce? People automatically assume you're pregnant because
because that's you. It's a corona, like 2020 is year of the baby. Because since you were home
with
and
no
you had
partner, right?
time,
With
you
no
had
partner.
time, or when you chunky and they think you're pregnant, it's like, no, I just work and I ate because I'm fat, but it's okay though.
No, it's just the quarantine 16 that I gained. Thank you. Like, someone said, you pregnant with twins. And I'm like, why would that be good news? Like, oh my God. No, no. Listen, I'm all for babies. If people are having them, I'm happy for you. But this girl's oldest is about to be 15 in 2 months. Like, I want another baby right now. No, 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 no. I did my time. I'm good. I did my time. I still got another one that's got 10 years to 18. So I want to get through them too.
I'm not gonna bust your bubble, but I do have a sister that's 20 years and 6 months younger than me. So Santa does work like that, and I told my dad wife that. Thank you, Santa.
I was 12 when my mom had my brother, and I got my tubes tied, so there's no babies coming. But
My
and like
auntie, disclaimer again, my auntie had a miracle baby. So therefore, thank you, Jesus. What else you got? What else you got? Just say I
no,
don't want to get pregnant. Don't
you know
say
what?
no excuse.
We're gonna go into this show. We're just gonna go into this show, okay? I don't want to talk about babies no more. I'm too afraid. But well, and the last part is I don't have the partner. So there's the real reason why I'm not having no babies. I gotta have somebody to make the babies with, Gotta have that. Haven't had one of those in a real long time, and I'm not too keen to get another one anytime soon. Let me tell you what. The last one was quite interesting. So all right, you guys. As you guys come in, say hey. For anyone who's going, what in the living hell is going on? Is it Thursday or Tuesday? It is not. But we are having a really special broadcast because I've been waiting a hot minute for this woman to come on to my show, like a hot minute. How long have I been telling you to get on here? Long time. But you know what? It's okay because it happens exactly when it's supposed to be happening. So I am we're having a special broadcast, you guys, of the TUF Woman Table. And so I am really excited to have you on here. But I'm going to drop into my intro. We are going to get this going. For anybody that catches this, as you come in, say, hey, let us know where you're coming from. If you love this show, please share these episodes for us. These stories are amazing. They're very important. I feel like there's so much healing and learning that comes when we open our mouth and use our voices to not only share our stories, but share our messages. So the more eyes we can get on this, the more people's lives I believe will be changed by the women like Artisia who come on here and just stand in their truth. So please share these episodes. If you catch us on the replay, hashtag replay. And as I always say, please feel free to join us in the comments. This is a live show. If you see the live sign up here, this is a live show. So please feel free to comment, join in, and let us know how you're doing, what your thoughts are, because this is just as much your conversation as anybody else's to be a part of. So without any further ado, I'm going to drop in, say hey, do my intro, and then I'm going to introduce my guest here. So hello and welcome to the TUF Woman Table, you guys. This is the table where I invite some super badass tough women like Artisia here to take a seat and join in on the conversation and share her amazing story. At TUF Woman, I believe that all women have the power within themselves to live life authentically, free from fear, confident in who they are, and empowered to go out and create a life that sets their soul on fire. Whoop, whoop. Love that. I share this belief by championing tough women who have walked through the fire, felt the fear, faced adversity, and kept pushing through it all. Women who now live the life they want as the woman they were created to be, and women who own their stories so other women can embrace and own theirs as well. Because, as we all know, and as it will one day be written in a book somewhere, I have no doubt, when you give yourself permission to own and share your story, you give someone else the same permission. Woo! I love it. Makes me so happy. Makes me so happy. All right. So Artesia, I'm going to let you just dive into it because I feel like you're going to just bring a whole lot of fire with this. If you will tell everybody a little bit about who you are, who is Artesia, and what it is that you do, because I know you do a lot, especially for our veterans and our troops and things like that. And just tell them a little bit about what, how you help people right now.
Whew. Let me take a deep breath. That was a lot. That's a good intro. So now I have to follow that and have the energy match. Well, I'm Artisia Williams. I am a veteran, a college grad, and an entrepreneur. My value is over $500,000. That's 500K. Period. And my education alone was 80,000. That was just for my bachelor's degree. And the thing that I realized was a lot of women would say, "Oh, who are you?" And then I would think to myself, I really didn't know. I didn't know how to answer that question. So I went on this long journey to figure out, who am I? What do I do? I help veterans, seniors, students, and as well as military people, which is service, or people who give back to the community, service as well. And people say, "Oh, you just help the troops." I help people who want to give back to the community. And I believe it's a movement. The movement that I started just recently was help us, us working together to help both of us, because it was help me, help you, help you, help me. I changed it a couple of times, but I found out it's a group effort, and I'm just stoked. I'm pumped. I love helping. I just love helping people.
I was gonna say, I love that. I realized my mic was on mute because we had the art. I'm having sound discrepancy, so I'm on mute when I'm not talking. And I love that because that was one of the reasons that I started this. Was that in one of the biggest things that I got into the business for was, I realized, especially for women, there wasn't a lot of examples of women helping other women for the sake of just helping each other out. Like, you know what, come up with me, we can be successful together. And so when I got into this, I was like, you know what, I want to be that example. And it's just like, you talk about is being that example is just starting out and doing the work yourself and just showing up in that space. So this is I want to say, you said this is my favorite question, but this is my first favorite question. I have two that come on this show. So first favorite question. So tell us your story, because the title of your episode is Truth and Transparency. And I know you got a whole lot going behind all that. So tell us, what is that story behind Truth and Transparency?
First, I have to break it down to the lowest level, because my mother's a teacher, and she said you have to know the definitions. What is truth? What is transparency? What is all that? So first, truth is stuff that's factual, stuff that actually happened, not made up, not fantasy, not in the world, not my imagination. Real life key events. And then there's honesty. That's telling the truth, but usually it's blunt, because they say honesty and truth hurts. But transparency is being see-through, being transparent, being able to be known, touchable, being real with yourself, being real with other people. But the biggest thing about truth and transparency is telling your same truth, but at the same time, being transparent as well as respectful. Because I know some people like, "Oh, this is not truth, just accept it for who I am." Yes, that's beautiful. But sometimes people can't hear your message. They don't hear you because all they see and all they hear is the chatter of negativity and the drama and the hurt and the pain. As I tell people, I stop people from bleeding on other people. When you just sit there and you're just saying your pain and everything that hurt, and it's just like, as I say, diarrhea or constipation, where it's just you're telling all your business because you're hurt, or you're holding it in and you can't say anything. My mother hates that analogy, but I guess you get it. Overall. Yeah.
I was writing that down. I was like, stop people from bleeding on other people. I love that. I said that the other night. It's like because I talk about self-healing a lot in the shadow work. So it's like, when you don't heal yourself, you bleed on other people and even cut you. And give me 1 second. I'm going to find me a pen because I want to take some notes. Oh, God. I missed out on this the other night. I was part of, I had one of those, my panels on, And the women were like taking notes, and I'm like, where the hell am I not taking no damn notes? I said, look at me not taking no notes. All right, so if you want to dive further and like really let us know, like, what is that story behind truth and transparency? So what does it mean to come into that space of being able to speak your truth and be transparent? Because we live in an age where everybody's like, be authentic, be your authentic self, right? And we're trying so hard to be authentic that we've actually lost our authenticity along the way, right? We want to show up and have, what is it? They say clout now. My kids say this, like, you know, you're gonna have clout. I'm like, I don't know what
Oh
that
yeah, it's a
is.
song. It's a song.
Yeah, I'm out of it. I said, I'm getting older, man. That's what it is. I'm just getting older. I'm like, I hear
You're getting
something.
wiser. You're getting seasoned. Just like grapes, when they get older, it turns into wine. Just like milk, when it get older, it turns into buttermilk, and everybody like buttermilk biscuits. So
Oh,
it's not that we're getting older; we're getting refined into something more juicy.
oh, I like that. I'll have
That's
to do
that's
that.
my word. I love saying my books are juicy because it got a little juice to them. So breaking it down, there's actually a three-step process. First is your pain, whatever you went through, your hurt, your trauma. For me, I had pain of four different types of trauma: of the mind, the body, the soul, and the spirit. And people say, what is the difference between soul and spirit? Isn't that the same? The way I define it and separate it is the soul is a higher power, whether it's energy, karma, Allah, whatever you believe. Outside, something outside of yourself, into yourself is your soul. But your spirit is from within, whether it's the Holy Spirit, woman's intuition, your gut feeling, something inside of you saying, this is right or this isn't right. For me, when I had that gut feeling, people kept telling me I was crazy for having it. So I was like, okay. So the thing that had made me pump my brakes and say, stop, don't do this, I stopped doing that. I stopped making healthy decisions and stopped doing the wrong things. And then I just lost everything. I lost my mind, my body. I gained over 150 pounds on birth control. My soul was bleeding. I got a divorce. My spirit was messed up because the people who I thought were my friends who should have been there left me because nobody want to get beat up. Nobody want to get talked to like they're dirty. Everyone say, "Oh yeah, I'm real," but I didn't even like myself. So how do I expect people to like me? My
Mm,
best friend, that's how we met each other. When I was my mother and father, I was split between the two because they weren't together when I was a baby, but they love each other. They co-parented very well. I love Christmas. I have five. I'm one of five, and we all have different mommies and daddies. So Christmas is amazing. So what I learned is the first 6 months out of the year, I would be with my mom. So it was good. It was new. It was interesting. Up north, I was in Jacksonville. But then the last 6 months, I would be with my father. And that was interesting because everyone else had the first 6 months of the year to gain friends. And then I was with my father on the first day on the 6th month. And I'm like, I don't know nobody. So the people I connected with were the goths and the suicidal people and then the rebels and the bad kids. And I was just like, hi, my name's Artisia. Will you be my friend? And people were like, I'll cut myself. I'm like, oh Lord. Okay. But then I was putting my head down on the table one day and I was just crying, crying. And then I had this whole speech. I was going to tell this story to the first person that came up to be my friend. And then that didn't come out because the girl walked up to me and I was like, nobody likes me. She was like, I don't even like myself. And we were the best of friends. And she ended up becoming the valedictorian of high school, helping me get into Youth Engineering Society, National Honor Society, National Vocational Honor Society, Junior Civitan, president, the vice president of public speaking. And she helped me accept me for me. But when she died in a car accident, I broke. I broke on the inside. Something just changed. It was hard because I was dealing with this world alone. So I found who I thought was the love of my life. So I know how that feels to find Mr. Amazing who don't have a job and don't have a home and don't have a car. but we're gonna make this work somehow. We're gonna get baby Jesus up in here. And when I lost my baby after I joined the military, he was very hurt, more than he admitted, and he ended up leaving me for another woman. $300,000 and a baby on my income taxes later. I was like, I don't know what the hell I done done. I didn't tell my parents. I ran away from home. I joined the military. My parents, I told them I was going to the military. They were like, oh, yeah, yeah. Because I was real shy. But one day I just left. I was sleeping in my car. I didn't have food. I was making $7.50 an hour, like basically nothing. And I was eating ketchup because it gives you a little energy and it got a little taste to it. And everybody know ketchup is free at McDonald's. Sorry, McDonald's. You supported me through my homelessness. So I would go to different people's houses and I would sleep on different people's couches. And it was a time where I just, without getting too emotional, I was broken. That's what I tell people. And then when I got older, I connected with people who were broken because I wanted to help them. But then I learned that the more I helped, the more they needed. And then I enabled them. So they weren't self-sufficient, they were codependent, and they were negative. And then I was like, no, I'm gonna stop helping you. And then I felt bad and I had a connection. So I had to learn how to transition and tell my truth and say, hey, look, these are boundaries. I used to hate that word. I still do. I think it's like a cuss word. Because when I hear boundaries, I hear, no, don't do that. Even though that's what you're saying, I hated saying no, even to other people, even to myself. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I've done. And then it was a long story of interwoven, like self-reflection. I used to do these journals. And then a doctor told me, I don't even know how to help you 8 years later. And I'm like, I'm doing all this therapy and all this treatment and all this learning. And he was like, why don't you tell me what you think? And I'm like, huh? He was like, write me a report. And I'm like, okay. He was like, you've been with yourself longer than anybody been with you. And I'm not going to look at your history. I just want you to tell me the story and I want you to fix it. So then I made a mantra. Today I will change. I won't complain. I'm amazing. And 3 A's. 3 A's. I'm amazing. Because when you spell my name, people mess it up. And I said, this is how you learn how to spell it. Art, A-R-T, is, I-S, I-A. I'm amazing. It says I'm amazing in my name. Artisia. I will say it again. Art, A-R-T, is, I-S, I-A. I'm amazing. Duh. It makes sense. But I didn't know that I was amazing. I thought I was just different. Like when you deal with that hurt for so long, you own it. See, my problem was I was responsible, which is a good thing, but I was taking responsibility for the people who hurt me. They say 70 times 7 in the Bible, what you're supposed to forgive. I said, well, that's about 500 times I can forgive. They're like, is you crazy? Someone beating up on you 500 times and you still taking it? You still taking that use and abuse, wondering why? My mother had to bring me to the side. She said, you're not the sacrificial lamb, baby. I'm like, well, when I was younger, my grandma asked me what I want to be. I said, I want to be Jesus. Everybody laughed at me until I went to a pastor and then she said, you want to be Christ-like. Even her husband laughed at me. He was like, she wanted to be Jesus. And they said, my grandmother would pull me to the side. She said, now, how you going to be Jesus, baby? I said, well, I'm going to tell my story. And people got a lot of the problems I have. And then they can use my template to increase the happiness and decrease the pain and the hurt and the negativity and the drama and what he said, she said, and how I'm your friend. The biggest lesson I had to learn was how to come from betrayal. They say it never come from an enemy. Never. And a lot of people would ask me that. And I know it's a long story, but it's more. It gets juicier. It gets to the point where when you lose yourself trying to make people happy who don't even like you, and you do anything and everything to get them to love you, and they still don't love you. They still don't. That's hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm. So much. I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes. That's why I keep looking down. And I'm just ready for all the juiciness, man. I'm just ready for all the juiciness. But something I want to talk about because I think this is really important. So oftentimes what I found in life is that we are really a light for other people through our own pain, right? And they talk about the wound is where the light comes in. And I also think that on the opposite aspect of it is like the wounds that we have healed is where our light also continues to shine out. And people see that on an energetic aspect, is the way I view it. And so when you kind of changed, like flipped the script and you figured out that you were no longer defined by your pain, how did that start rewriting everything in your life? Because you talk about being defined by that, basically defined by that pain and taking on other people's, taking responsibility for other people's pain. So I think it's important to understand that on one part of the side you've got the shattering, which is that like, oh my God, I'm so broken and I don't think I can break anymore. And I like to call that the shattering. And I think a lot of women especially go through it. Like I know I had my point at one point. I actually had many points. Like at one point when I was in Florida, I was actually homeless for a little bit. I lived on people's couches for like 3-4 months. Like that's not a joke, man. People think that that's a fun life, man, but that is not a joke. That's like stress on a whole other level. Um, but actually, what I want to is how that shattering helps to change your perspective. So, at what point was it that you were like, you know what, after that, I am amazing, like where your that mentor talked to you is like, you know what, I'm going to use this as a gift and I'm going to use this to help other people because I feel like that plays a lot into what you're doing now. So, what point was it that you were like, you know what, I'm going to flip the script and this is where I'm going to be victorious. Like this is the season I'm going to walk into and use this to help other people.
Whew, that's deep. That's deep. I'm very turning blushy, and I try to respect people's privacy, but it was a person who was broken, who had a felony for messing with children when they weren't supposed to.
Mhm.
And I accepted them for them, and I gave them a chance. Um, they taught me how to love myself because I thought I was loving myself. I thought I was happy. I was making money, even though it wasn't a lot. I thought I was loving myself, but inside I was suicidal.
Mm.
Inside I was homicidal because I wanted the I wanted people to feel pain that hurt me, especially when you get molested. You want them to understand. You want them to get it, but they were dead about time I realized it and opened it admittedly. So what I had to actually do as my eyes started to water, I had to learn how to love myself. I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know what that sounded like. I didn't know what that felt like. And I was raised by my father, and he had women that were like motivational and great role models. But for me, it's hard to learn how to be a woman from a man or be a man from a woman. So
Mm.
what I connected with, even though I connected with women as far as in telling my story, as far as in the healing, I translated to men. I told them, hey, look, what are you trying to say? Okay, this is how you say it. This is what you mean. This is what you're trying to do. And it was weird because a lot of women hurt, but a lot of men don't know how to express those same feelings. And it was weird because in the boardroom, I was strong. I was dominant. And then a man would say the exact same thing that I say, and he would get the credit like, whoa, that is so amazing. And I'm like, I just said that 2 seconds ago. And then they wouldn't respect me. They wouldn't honor me. And it was weird because something as simple as brushing my teeth and saying this little light of mine, as someone told me to do. Every morning when I brush my teeth, it's me loving myself. And every week I give myself something less than $10. Something less than $10 every week. If you hit your goals, whether it's financially, mentally, socially, spiritually, whatever. And for me, it's a donut because I'm fat. And if I make my monthly goal, I get a 32 ounce of coffee from Dunkin' Donuts. And then I get my little rewards points from me getting gas, which I can drop the link for that, where you can actually earn money by pumping gas, and they tell you where you get discounts from. And I learned that I have to love myself. And most people say you gotta love yourself before you love anyone else. I don't believe that. I don't. A lot of people are like, what? Yes, you do, girl. Some people don't know how to love themselves. And by loving someone else, you can learn or be here. It's just like a mother to a child. If you're a mom, if you're not here, you can't be there for your child.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a pastor to a congregation. If the pastor's not there, they can get a new pastor. But if they get you as the person that's supposed to be in that position, owning it, if you're not there, who's better? Who's better than you? Who cares more than you do? Who loves more than you do? Who actually have good intentions? And it's not all about money, because we know the money will come, but at times it's hard. Let's be all the way real. We got people up here, yeah, let me tell you how to make $1 million, but they don't even know what $1 million look like. Oh, let me tell you how to be skinny. You bigger than me. I had to fire my dietitian. Not because she was fat, because she was skinny. And she was telling me 12,000 calories. My coffee alone is 700 calories. That's one meal right there, my coffee in the beginning of the day. I would rather drink all them calories and burn the calories than not have my coffee. I tell people something as simple as coffee. And let me explain how important this is. Because a man from a different country didn't understand what it is to be coffee. And he said, why do you need coffee every morning? And why are you so angry? I said, why do you need a key? I'm going to ask you this question. Let's see if you know the answer. Why do you need a key?
To get in somewhere.
What else? In a car.
In a car. Why do you need to start the car?
To start. So you got to crank up the key to get it started. There you go. So the coffee get my brain and my endorphins and my dopamine and my everything to get tingling to say, you're woke, it's morning. Without my coffee, I'm like, and even if you have coffee, you need gas. Gas is my affirmation. That's me saying, go, 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 go. You can do this. You. Not nobody else but you. I said, if no one believes in you, you believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's your family and friends. They tell you in almost any business, write down your 50 most family and friends. My family and friends are tired of me. Girl, let me tell you what business. Okay. But a lot of them supported me, so I had to find which way can they support me. Which way can they love me? A like and a share, a comment, a hello, a how you doing, a good job, girl. Something as simple as a smile. Because I know there were days where I didn't want to get out of bed. I just didn't. And through all my pain, I turned into my passion. A man told me, that was a sergeant. He said, you're not angry, you're just passionate. Most people say, it's self-sabotage. Why are you talking to yourself so mean? Don't do that. I'm like, I'm self-disciplined. I don't supposed to do that. I don't supposed to cuss out the pastor. I don't supposed to roll my eyes at my mama. And if I had kids, I was supposed to slap them upside the head all the time. I don't supposed to do that. So let me tell myself no. Because if you it's like a car with no brakes. If you don't have brakes, no matter how good the car is, that's dangerous. You can hurt somebody. And if it was a real car, you can kill somebody. Kill their dreams, their hopes, their aspirations, their vision, their morals. So sometimes you gotta pump the brakes. Just pump the brakes.
Mm. So I want to take a little sidestep back to because you talked about being suicidal, and that's something that I feel like is coming up a lot right now. People are really dealing with a lot of mental health, and for anybody who comes on the show, I think it would be important to touch on that for a moment and ask, what is it that got you through that? Because like I said, there are a lot of people in this world that are just struggling, man. They are struggling. And my firm belief is that we go through what we go through because we're meant to help people go through something similar. We're meant to be that light, right? Like when I talk about what I do now as a coach, I am the light to help guide you through your own darkness, right? Like I am that light to help you come through the darkness so that you can in turn on your own light. So what was it that helped you turn on your own light and make it through that darkness within your life?
I'm gonna go about it two ways. I'm gonna go about it the positive way. Let's start with the good. No, let's start with the bad stuff, my way, and then we're gonna end on a positive note. I embrace the darkness.
Mm.
Most people say don't deal with it, don't cry, cope, count to 10. I was just like, what am I doing? Why am I here? This looks familiar. I keep doing this. I can't get out of this rut. And I look up because I'm thinking of the things that I truly say to myself. I feel like beep, and I own it and I embrace it. I don't do it to the point where I slit my wrist. I don't do it to the point where I take pills. I don't do it to the point where if I needed help, I can't call somebody. But I own that moment.
Mm.
And then on a positive note, that's more happy. What I end up doing, Lisa Nichols said something. She said, when don't dim your light. When you're shining too bright, she put on her shades. She was like, tell them to put on shades. And then she walked off the stage.
Mm.
Why am I making myself look dumb? Why am I, even when I was talking to you and looking at you, I'm like, she's very beautiful. She knows what she's doing. She's going in the right direction. But something inside of me, that little voice of negativity and people in my ear was like, oh, you're not good enough. Why are you trying to go to school? You've been in school forever. And that negative talk, that chatter, that betrayal, that drama, that instigation, just going. And then I thought to myself, why don't I deserve it? Why not? Why don't I deserve to be happy? Why not? Who are they? Are they Jesus? And even if he was Jesus, look what happened to Jesus. And if they don't believe in Jesus, my gut is telling me no. See, one person said your disability is your superpower because it lets you know the good people, the bad people, the really bad people. It lets
Mm.
you know.
Oh,
And
amen to
sometimes
that.
I be twitching. Sometimes I had to throw that in there because I'm.
That's all right, man. Sometimes I was doing the show Thursday night and there was a big wasp or hornet. And the girl's on, she's like, is it one of those murder hornets? You know how like COVID came and then the murder hornets followed after? And I said, I don't know, but you'd see me on the show and I'm looking like crazy. I know I'm like I just sit there like all of a sudden real quiet. I'm like, just there's a wasp, y'all. Okay, I'm outside and there's a wasp. And I don't want to get stung. That's like, because it would like be flying right here. I'm like, oh no, go away, go away. I want to talk a moment about embracing the darkness and owning the moment because I think this is really important to go down. This is something that we talk about that we don't talk about and we shy away from. When I talk about shadow work, it's really just owning and embracing that darker aspect of yourself. So when you owned your darkness, when you embrace that, I have to ask you, what sense, and I know you're going through that, but I want to ask you, was there a sense of freedom almost in owning and embracing that darkness? Instead of being like overwhelmingly consumed by it, you were like, you know what? This is where I'm going to be at this moment. And I'm going to be okay with that. Was there a freedom in that? Because I know that for me, the biggest freedom came from owning the fact that I was imperfect, that I failed, that I was a human being, and that was okay. And even now, every single day is one more step in owning the fact that I'm not a perfect person. That some days, like yesterday, I go and I take a 5-hour nap, and you know what? That's okay. Maybe I had shit to do, but you know what? I need to sleep yesterday. But yeah, what was it like to just own and embrace that part of yourself and be like, you know what? This is where I'm at right at this moment.
Well, I have a new book and it talks about that in detail because in the short period of time I can't explain it and give it justice. It's
Mm,
more of it's a love-hate relationship to answer that without deflecting the question. It's a love-hate relationship.
mm. I hear that. I hear that, and I understand. So going forward now, where was it? At what point was it that you realized that what you're doing now, this was like the turning point and you were moving towards this? Because again, I think we're given what we're given for a huge reason. But when was it that you realized, like, you know what, this is what I'm here to do? This is the reason I'm on this earth. So, what was that turning point, and what did that part of your journey look like?
There was a podcast type live where it's called She Exists. And they said there's four pillars. And I'm going to repeat it based on what I heard in my interpretation. When you're trying to do better, there's four pillars. People you're mentoring, people on your level, people you're inspiring to be, like your motivational, your mom, your dad. Sometimes it's not them, your family, your friends. Sometimes it's not them, somebody else in your circle. And then there's people you're aspiring to be, people doing what you want to be done. When I had exactly enough to the penny, minus $3, to pay for a coach that makes over $100,000 a year, and I wanted to do it, Miss Vision Avant, even though I know I asked a million questions and I've been hurt and I know most of the information as far as in not what she has to teach me, but I know business. I'm a business major. This is what I do. And when she came to me and she said, if you know that, what do you need me for? And I thought about it. I'm like, I need someone actually doing what they say they're going to do. When I listened and I was like, I need help. I need help. I have all these contacts. I have all these friends. I have all these thoughts. I have all these visions. I have all these ideals. I have all these things. But what I need is a mentor, mentoring the mentor. Because my mentor have a mentor, and my coach have a coach, and a doctor have a doctor.
All people need coaches and mentors
And doctors.
and doctors. Lord, I
And
need
the
a
reason
doctor.
why I say that because people think when you're a subject matter expert and a professional and you hit your pinnacle, you always can learn. You can learn something from the janitor all the way to a CEO. And they always tell you be coachable, be trainable. I learned that in another business I was at because I give away free travel portals as well. So you can get away. Because I know once you do the COVID, you're going to be ready to travel.
Oh Lord, right here, right here.
And
Get me
I'm
out of
going to
here.
Australia because they speak English. And I wanted to go outside of the United
Rashawn, I gotta take some. Rashawn says, "Hey, ladies. Hey, Rashawn. Rashawn's been on here a couple times. I love her. Y'all need to connect too. She's a fun. You need to work with Ashley's coach. That's my coach sitting on the screen right there. Who's saying that? He is awesome. He's awesome. I'm not gonna lie. But it's the truth though. We need people like I think what it is that especially for in the coaching industry, we think that because they are a coach that they're good, or a lot of us as coaches think, oh, I'm a coach, I don't need a coach. But the fact of the matter is you can't see your blind spots. You can't see the pieces that you can't see. You can't see where you're stuck in a perspective and that perspective is harming you versus helping you. You can't see when that comes up, and you need that. I like to call it that neutral party that's going to come in and be like, listen, I'm invested in you because I want to see you grow. But at the same time, I'm going to push you to go into that next phase as well. So, and then he says, it's nice to see two ladies talk from. I don't know what talk from is, David, but I imagine you might complete that. Um, know what talk from is.
Talk from my heart. That's where it's coming from.
He's talking, yeah, see, their heart, but she's talking from her
See?
truth.
I
David,
told you. I feel you. Me and man, we connect. We be like, okay, I got it. They might not want to say it, but we connect. But what I
that's right.
learned is, as a certified life coach, that's kind of part of it. Having that mirror, knowing what you look like. You know, most people don't know what they look like, and the best way that I deal with demons, because I call them demons inside of people. I don't think it's them. I think it's the actions that they're doing. I show them what they look like. They be nice to me, I be nice to them. They be a little bit mannish. I show people don't know what mannish is. A little ghetto, a little loud, a little mean, a little like picking on people. I show them what they and I match their energy. Why
Mhm.
you acting like that? And the first question I ask, who I look like?
Stop. Oh my God.
Who do I look like? When my mama talked to me, I'm sorry, mama, I love you. I said, I look just like you. No, you don't. You remember when you did this? Instead of saying, why you do this? Because you know I'm a child still, so I'm in child mode. Or when somebody who act like they my friend and they tell me something, but you know what's sad? I'm gonna tell you the bad part. As a coach, they'll throw it back at me. They're like, "Oh, remember when you said this?" And it'll be something I'm going through. I'm like, "Dang, I gotta listen to my old advice." So be careful what you say. As a coach, I don't tell you the answers. I just ask questions and I tell you, I get you where you need to go.
Mm. And
I get you where you need to go. And
David,
I accept you where you are. Most people try to put you up here. Some people don't feel comfortable up here. They need to be down here and slowly get up there.
well, and David says you got to let your coach push you, and your coach does accept it. That's true. Yeah, he doesn't coach me. We work. She's on my team. We work together. It's like a mutually beneficial thing, I think. But I will say he's been phenomenal for me and David. I'll give you that shout out. He's actually part of my announcement, but we're gonna talk about that later. That's not what this is about. But yeah, in talking about coaching for a second, I think that that's something that we have gotten that is coming to light within the industry, right? Because we have been built, the industry, when I came into it, especially, was like, come here and I'm going to give you the answer and I'm going to give you the blueprint. I'm going to do da 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 da. And it's like, follow me and you'll get this, follow me and you'll get that. And what I realized along the journey was that real coaching is not about giving somebody your blueprint. It's not about saying, hey, if you follow my way, it's going to get you here, because there's no guarantee that what I do is going to work for you or you or you. My journey through my own shadow work into sovereignty is not going to look like your journey. So it's not my place to give you my journey. It's my place to say, okay, well, what's your journey? Let's walk you through your journey, right? So I love that you talk about that, because there's not enough emphasis on that. It's an emphasis on, here, pay me all this money and I'm going to give you all the answers. And the reality is, I have no more answers than you have. And I don't have your answers. Your answers, you have them. I don't have them. But I'm going to give you this little spade I got here we're going to dig these little suckers right out. All right. So I want to know specifically what got you started what made you decide to go into doing what you're doing now, which is working with veterans and people who have been in the military. I know you've got the military background. So, but what was it where you're like, you know what, this is the business. Like, this is what I'm going to do.
Honestly, when I help veterans, they motivate me. They motivate me to help people who help the community, because I thought veterans was my target audience of clients, but clients are people that you serve. Customers are people that pay you. So my customers were people who believed in me. My clients were military. They were they were minorities and different various groups. But the people who actually sign my checks are the people who are, some of them are, they're people who give back to the community. They might not necessarily need my actual service, but they believe in me. They believe in my journey. They believe in my stories. They believe in my pitfalls. They believe in my honesty. Because sometimes I can be a little rough, but they mostly believe in my truth and transparency. I say I try to give it within at least a 95 percentile of truth, because 5% only God knows. Some things I don't know. I just don't know. I don't remember. I wasn't there mentally, like, to know.
Mm-hmm. Well, and oh frick. I wanna say you have that right, because you guys, I'm gonna give a very transparent moment and thank you to Artesia for calling me forward on this. And so most of y'all know that I have been doing a woman of color panel, and Artesia was loving enough to call me forward and have a moment of growth within it, and stating, that maybe that was not the right way to come across with that, and that might be misconstrued or seen as wrong. So, um, I think one thing I have to highlight on you is your a massive amount of integrity in the way you go about bringing other people into that space of integrity. And I think that that's a really important thing for all of us to aspire to, is coming out of a space of integrity. And I think for as long as I've known you, that's been one of my favorite things. Other than the fact that you get me hyped. Like I feel like when it's time, when we're gonna come together one day and we're gonna have a big, event or
Power,
something,
power.
I'm gonna make you my hype person. Like, y'all just come on.
You know, I was on the radio, right? I was like the hype person. I was the person like, come on, let's go, let's do this. Pass it to the right, pass the mic. And my dad was a DJ. Let me tell the truth. My mom is a musician. My dad did real estate. My mom was a mortgage person, processor. So I have these tools, but my thing was I was a jack of all trades and master of none. So I needed to focus. And they said the secret of focusing, especially with disabled people or anybody who have ADD, when it's like, squirrel, do this, it's simple. It's interest and motivation. Something you want to do, like to do, enjoy doing, even if you don't like it. Something that catch your attention. Just like sometimes I like to disagree. I can agree with you wholeheartedly, but I just want to see what you're going to say. I'm not gonna lie. My brother said, "You're a troller." I'm like, "What's a troll?" He's like, "You believe that person, but you're saying no just to say no." He don't sound like that. It just sounds like that in my head when I replay it. And I was just like, I just want people to think for themselves. I don't want them to do it just because I said something. And then, like Lemmings, the little game where they jump off the cliff, just because they see me going, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna jump too." I want you to have mind. And okay, let me ask a question. Here's a big question. You ready?
I'm
Put
ready.
you on your toes. If knowledge is half the battle, what's the other half?
Knowledge is half the battle. What is the other half? I would say using the knowledge.
Application. Sounds easy, so why people don't do it?
That's a good question.
Why? Because just like I ain't gonna lie. You could be overeducated when you're a little Miss Know It All. You know everything. You know what you're supposed to do. So why you ain't doing it? Why you ain't taking naps? Why you ain't going to sleep? You know, but I gotta pay this bill. Well, if I can't go to work, I can't pay this bill. If I'm not healthy, I can't pay this bill. If I'm agitated, I get the witch with the bee. I can't pay this bill. So maybe I need a 10 to 15-minute nap, eat a little donut, even though I'm on my weight loss journey.
Snickers.
Give me some motivation, give me some sugars, and then I'll be okay.
Well, I want to say on that one, I think what it is like you said, we're not used to seeing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? We don't know what it is to see who our true self is. I think a lot of us are really buried under massive amounts of facades. We're just sitting here going mask, 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 mask. And we don't know what this looks like. So it's like for me, one of the things was recognizing that my biggest crutch was thinking that I needed all the knowledge, because I couldn't trust that I knew what I knew. I couldn't show up and do what I knew I could do because I needed to go read another book on it, right? That was my biggest thing. Like anytime I go, oh, well, just let me read a couple books and then I can speak on it. And the reality of it is when I trust that intuition, as you talk about, I already know it. When I tune into who that is, I already know it. All right, so I got a question for you because we're coming up to
Ooh.
the last of the hour. It's the one I told you that I don't tell people because it's so much fun. And David said, get you to New Orleans. So I'll have to talk to you about that. That's not the announcement, but there is a huge coaching convention that I'm going to be a part of, and it's for coaches and stuff. And it's really neat. For anybody who's out there who is a coach, a friend of mine who's in my mastermind group runs the National Coaching. I don't know if it's association. Jeremy, don't kill me for this, okay? But he helps connect life coaches and helps them get certified and stuff. But there is New Orleans. They're hosting their first convention in there, so we might have to talk about that later because I'd like to see you down there with me because I'm going. We need to go to New Orleans together, okay? That's all I'm saying. Oh my God, David, I don't know if you need that. We'll get in trouble. I'm not even gonna lie. We'll get in trouble. We'll get in trouble. Artisia be out there getting me all hyped up. Next thing you know, Ashley's gonna be in jail somewhere or something. Like, I was just having fun, y'all.
Long as you don't have a baby like we talked about in the beginning.
Oh God! Y'all, let's talk about
Go ahead, answer the question. Let me actually focus.
Never a good announcement there. No, it is for other people. Sorry, for people who are expecting or want to have a baby, that is a phenomenal announcement. For someone who has a 15 and almost 15 and an 8-year-old, having another baby right now would not be like my greatest announcement. Okay, but yeah. So when looking back on everything you've gone through, if someone was to come to you, let's say you're at a speaking thing, you've just told your story, you really, they go, Artisia, you know what? I resonate so much with your story. What are 3 pieces of advice or tips you could give me that would help me continue moving forward in my journey so that one day I might be able to blaze a path like you have?
I'm going to tell you, the same person who taught me how to love myself. Stop and think, back it on up, calming on down. First, you got to stop, then think, use your brain. My friend, I put on my vision board a brain and I put a star by each thing I accomplished. He said there's 4 corners. Use it 4 times. Stop, think, back it on up. Just breathe. Just calm down. Look at the situation. It's just like a rocking chair. You're not going nowhere, but you're not going backwards. And then calming on down. Sometimes if you go in the wrong direction and you're going 100 miles an hour, it's like, now I got to go back. And I could have just did better by not doing nothing. And then you just got to go in the right direction. Be like, okay, well, let me make a U-turn. And I think that for years, I was ashamed to say, I don't know. Like I felt like I had to have an answer. Like there's a spotlight, and if I don't answer, I'm gonna look dumb. No, you look dumb. Just say, I will get back to you on that.
I'll find out later.
Or I just don't know. Or what do you think? What do you think? Like, ask a person what, because most people who ask you a question, they got a hint of what they think the answer is. Believe it or not, because we're kind of selfish or selfless. Either or, we have self in there.
I agree with you on that one because when I was going to leave my husband, I went to a therapist. And she's like, we get like 45 minutes into it. And she's like, why are you here? And I said, well, I just want to know if I should stay married. All right, I paid this woman $60 for her to solve my problem. All right. You know what she does? She goes, well, do you want to be married anymore? And without a shadow of doubt, hell no. She goes, all right, there's your answer.
But I think that what coaches do, the difference between a coach and ourselves, sometimes we need to see what we look like when we're ugly. And most times we try to make it look pretty. We try to put, like I tell people, come back to the boo-boo, because that's your mess, your drama, your trauma. We try to Febreze boo-boo and try to present it as a gift and be like, this is who I am. This is me. And you're kind of like, and someone's like, ew, disgusting. And I'm like, but I've been through all this poop, but now I'm beautiful and I smile. And that's the truth. The truth is you have to flush it down the toilet. You have to get rid of it. You can remember where you were so you never do it again. But the more you eat, you're going to poop again. Something's going to happen. Something's going to break. Something's going to make you snap. Something's going to make you go wacky, whether it's a child or whatever. But at the same time, you have to be able to say, it's like tearing down a shack to build a mansion. You can't build a mansion on top of the shack. You got to tear it down.
I love that.
I know you saw that visual because you gave me the stinky face like a little kid.
I'm gonna go back and watch. I'm gonna fast forward just that point and be like, what stinky face is she talking about? Like,
the stinky face.
I want to know this face. I don't know. All right. So we getting on the last 5 minutes. That's crazy how quick these pass. Like crazy, man. So this is the part where you get to tell everybody about your free giveaway. I'm gonna let you go into that one, and then tell everybody about how they can connect with you and what services you offer, in case anybody catches up on this. And props to David for sharing this. Thank you, David. David just is like all up in you. He loves you. Like y'all have to connect. He's cool. You'll like him. Y'all, I think you'll. He's a British gentleman with a wonderful accent. He speaks English too, albeit some slang sometimes, but he speaks English. So yeah, tell everybody a little bit about your free giveaway and what how they can connect with you and what services you offer, and then we're gonna end this.
So on Facebook, I have a group, Author Artisia, Art ARTISIA. I'm amazing. Art is IA. And they cut off the IA, but I'm still amazing. And on TINT2020.com is my website. And for my new book, the one that is going to be amazing about forgiveness, it is $20 plus shipping and handling. And if you actually be a member, the first 50 people, get their names written in the book. So I need that information as soon as possible. And I also give away a free ebook. So you got to go to TINT2020.com and get the ebook, get your name in the book, and also get the book. That's all I got to say. Just one look by the book. That's it.
And for anybody who's interested in that, I have put the link to that in the descriptor. So whether you are on YouTube or Facebook, that link is in the descriptor. So please feel free to look that up. Connect with her on Facebook, you guys. She is tagged in my post. If a gentleman by the name of David Poole reaches out to you, that's that gentleman that's been on here. It's like he connected to. I want people to think for themselves. Lord, don't we all want people to think for themselves? I wish everybody would think for themselves. I'm gonna tell you what, we'd probably have a lot less mess on Facebook and all the other shit if people just thought for the damn selves for a second. Like,
can I say the quote of a lifetime?
Let me stop and think before I reshare this or whatever. Let me do some research before I just assume that this is what it is. And I'm not saying there's not a lot of bad stuff going on in the world, but before you spread some more stuff, like make sure there's some truth to it, please.
There's a secret to that, and I found the quote that just changed my life. They said, if you want to thank a veteran, just be a American worth fighting for. They said person. I say American because I'm American, but he's British, so be a person worth fighting for. If you want to thank a veteran, a person who's been in the service, just be a person worth fighting for. Do the right thing. Celebrate those freedoms that we help you get. Freedom of speech, freedom to bear arms, freedom of religion, all that stuff. Just be an American worth fighting for. Or person. Because we're going international. Worldwide.
We're going to get there. All right, man. This was awesome. I'm glad we got to do this. I'm glad you finally made it on here. It's only taken me how long to get you on here? Come on, girl.
We ain't going to talk about what we ain't doing. We talk about what we doing right now.
The table is ready. I'm going to get there. And I said, I know you are. Don't worry. They always come. That's what I tell people who are like, yeah, I'll make it one there. And I go, I know. You will. Don't worry. It's here when you're ready. Look it. There's your table. There's your chair with your name on it. It's waiting for you. Be right there. But all right, you guys, this was awesome. I'm so excited. I'm glad we got to do this. I'm so thankful for you. I'm so thankful for knowing you. And just know that when I come back down to Florida, we are going to link up. for forever, for the first time in forever. So I'm very excited about that. But for everybody who's out there, thank you for being here. David, thank you for being a part of the conversation. David likes to be part of conversations, so I'm glad he was on here. And you guys stay tuned. I'm not going to make my announcement just yet. I'm going to hold this off just a little bit longer because it's so much fun. But you guys, make sure you guys tune in for Tuesday's panel on domestic violence. The 21st, we will not have anything, but join us next week. We'll have regular programming on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Everybody link up with Artisia. Get in with that. Get in with her. Yes, you will love her. You'll be so thankful she's on your timeline. I know I am. It's like always like a ray of sunshine when I see you. I'm like, oh, I just want to smile now. But all right, you guys. So I will see you guys Tuesday, normal time, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you catch us on the replay, #replay. Make sure you share us. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Artisia. Yeah, it's been great. All right.